All right, today we are diving deep into the art and the high-stakes science of training an AI model.
So let's start with a pretty staggering fact. Training a single large AI model can burn through millions of dollars in compute power. It is an incredibly high-stakes performance. So you have to wonder, right? Who is the person standing there making sure this massive, expensive investment doesn't just spiral out of control and become a total disaster?
We'll meet the AI project manager, but I want you to think of them as less of a manager and more like the conductor of an AI orchestra. See, they're not playing every instrument themselves, but they are the ones who are absolutely essential for turning a collection of brilliant individual musicians into one cohesive symphony.
Now, a conductor's first job, it actually happens long before anyone even plays a single note. It's all about writing the master score. This is the super detailed planning, the resourcing, and the coordination that sets the stage for everything that's going to happen next.
This means, building out a detailed timeline, figuring out exactly what resources you're going to need, and getting all the different teams, from your data scientists all the way to the finance department, on the same page. It's about making sure the whole plan lines up with the project's most important milestones. This is literally the blueprint for success.
And that brings us to something absolutely critical, the budget forecast. The PM has to account for every single dollar. We're talking about the raw cost of those super powerful GPUs and TPUs, the cloud compute time, the storage, the data pipelines, the whole shebang. If you get this part wrong, well, the whole concert could get canceled before it even begins. Okay, so the score is written. Now it's time for the rehearsal. This is the active training phase where our AI PM is constantly monitoring progress and helping to tune the model's performance.
And what's so fascinating here is the clear division of focus. Your data scientists, they're the musicians, remember. They are deep in the technical weeds, watching things like loss curves and tweaking for better accuracy. But the conductor, our project manager, they've got a much wider view. They're the ones watching for budget overruns, spotting training runs that have stalled out and are just burning cash, and making sure the whole process is following all the governance rules.
Now, a huge part of this rehearsal is tuning something called hyperparameters. The best way to think about these is as the creative choices the conductor makes. They aren't the notes themselves, but they're all the settings that define the performance. Things like the learning rate, which is kind of like setting the tempo, or the number of layers in a neural network, which is like deciding how big your string section should be. These choices dramatically change how the final performance sounds and feels.
So the PM isn't necessarily the one doing the hands-on tuning, but they make sure there's a structured strategy in place for exploring all these creative choices. Their job is to make sure the process is planned, it's documented, and most importantly, it's cost-controlled. You can't have an endless, expensive search for perfection.
Okay, so after countless rehearsals and tuning sessions, you've got several really promising candidates. What now? Well, now it's time for the final audition, a really rigorous process of cross-validation and ultimately model selection. And the guiding principle here is so simple, but so powerful. It's all about providing complete and total transparency in the selection process. There can't be any bias, no guesswork. The choice of which model actually makes it into production has to be clear, it has to be fair, and it has to be defensible.
And you achieve this with tools just like this, a model selection scorecard. Here, every single candidate is judged against the exact same criteria. And look, we're not just looking at raw performance, we're also looking at things like fairness scores and a crystal clear rationale for why one model gets chosen over another. It's an auditable, evidence-based decision.
The star performer has been chosen, but the conductor's job is not over. Not by a long shot. The final, and I mean critical step, is archiving the performance. This is all about ensuring every single detail is recorded for traceability and reproducibility. And let's be really clear about why this matters so much. The bottom line is this. AI training is basically useless without complete traceability. I mean, think about it. If you can't prove how you got your result, how can anyone trust it?
So the crucial point here is that this isn't just about saving the final model file. No, it's about creating a perfect, permanent record of the entire journey. Every decision, every piece of data, every setting that was used to create that final performance.
This official archive has to be comprehensive. It's got to include the exact version of the data you used, detailed logs from all the experiments, the specific version of the code, all those hyperparameter settings we talked about, and full model lineage reports. This is the complete score, with every single note and annotation for anyone who needs to review it in the future.
So let's tie this all together. At the end of the day, the crucial point is that the AI project manager, our conductor, is the force that ensures this entire multi-million-dollar process results in a masterpiece, not just an expensive, unauditable mess. Because of them, the project is controlled and well-planned from day one. By writing that master score and setting the budget, they turn what could be a risky experiment into a manageable investment. The entire process is monitored with transparency. This means no surprise budget overruns, no zombie projects just running for weeks and wasting money, just clear, consistent progress.
And the search for that best model? It's optimized ethically and efficiently. Instead of some chaotic, super expensive hunt, the conductor makes sure the tuning process is a structured and well-documented journey of discovery.
The final choice is validated with rigor. It's not about a gut feeling. It's about a defensible, evidence-based decision that really builds trust in whatever you've created.
And finally, the whole effort becomes fully traceable and auditable. That means the result isn't just trustworthy, it's also repeatable and totally ready for any future audit or regulatory check.
Which really leaves us with a final big-picture thought. As our world becomes more and more run by these incredibly complex algorithms, is it possible that the human conductor, the one who provides all the planning, the oversight, and the accountability, is actually the most critical role of all?